CHI St. Alexius Health Dickinson presents Western Edge Living. You know, there's a lot of things that you could be doing right now, but you chose to watch Western Edge Living. Hello, I'm your host, Wild Bill Polinick, and I thank you for tuning in this evening. We're going to have a conversation with a good friend of mine today. You know him well if you attended the Make-A-Wish benefit that happens every March in Dickinson. You know this guy. It's Kelly Braun with Make-A-Wish today.
Hey, Bill. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing wonderful.
Good to see you. I don't know where you live exactly, but I'm thinking the Fountain of Youth can't be too far away.
I don't think that's quite true. But
whatever you're doing,
thanks.
Keep doing it. We're going to talk to Kelly. You might have saw our YouTube video that we did. It's on our YouTube channel about jousting for Jocelyn. We're going to follow up on that today. We'll get to you in just a moment, Kelly. First, I want to talk to you about our program. We are now presented by CHI St. Alexius Health Dickinson. Recently, our producer and director, Ron Rhodes, and myself met with Shanna Tillen, who is the marketing specialist at CHI St. Alexius, and the president, Carol Enderle, and they liked what we're doing here at Western Edge Living, and they decided, yes, this is something that we want to be a part of, and we are so grateful because we're all about the community, and that's what CHI St. Alexius is all about too. Go to their Facebook page and find out more information about some of the activities that they have at the hospital regularly. In fact, if you go there now, you can find out about baby's first car ride. You know, when new parents have a new baby, that car seat can be a little bit intimidating. That intimidation goes away when they attend one of these events. They offer classes on car seats at CHI St. Alexius Health Dickinson. They also have begun a community grief support group. And they meet every second Tuesday of each month. That's important too. That's just a couple of the things that CHI St. Alexius Health Dickinson does for the community. Find them on Facebook, follow them, and you'll be hearing a lot more about CHI St. Alexius Health Dickinson here on Western Edge Living. Medora, we're talking about Medora today, and we're going to get right to it. Kelly, we had a conversation recently about a wish that was granted that took on basically a chapter 2. And tell us about Jocelyn.
Yeah, Jocelyn Kreidinger, her wish was to be a princess for the day. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what she really expected. I think just to dress up and feel pretty and hang out with her friends. And we got lucky enough, we contacted Charlie, a guy with the Knights of Mayhem, and said, hey, is there any way you can get us a really good-looking night suit, a costume? And he's like, why would you want an imposter when you can have the real thing?
Tell us who Charlie is, first of all. We know Charlie. We've seen him on TV.
Well, if you've watched the Bud Light commercials when they were doing the dilly dilly,
yep.
The Bud Knight, that's Charlie. That's the guy who played the Bud Knight. And, yeah, so most of us have seen him, whether we remember it or not. But it was 2021. It was like the end of COVID.
Right.
And he was really sitting at home doing nothing. And I mean, he told me, he's like, Kelly, I was broke. And he says, he booked a plane ticket. He didn't even ask. He just said,
while he was on the phone.
While he was on the phone. He booked a ticket and said, I'm on my way. I'll be there that weekend. And so we had no idea. We were expecting a big shiny, the shining armor and stuff. And he came in the regal clothing. And I was going to put a crown on her head. And he actually robed her because that's what they do to a princess. And he made it so real, so way back in the times that it really was that we were looking at doing, and he made it authentic. He brought a scroll with they hand painted the scroll. They had a picture of her, drew like her likeness on the scroll, mm-hmm. And it was really just absolutely amazing day. We had a parade here in Dickinson. We had a parade in Regent, and they went to the castle in Regent. And when he left, he contacted me and said, Kelly, he says, I want to joust in front of my princess.
Okay, so that was the first wish.
Correct.
First wish, it went great. He was here. You had the parade. We went to Regent, went to the castle, all of that. But then I'm thinking that Charlie said, we got to do this right if we're going to do this. And what happened?
Well, he got a contract to go and joust up in Watford City.
Okay.
And he had been in contact with the family a couple times, see if they could make it to Wyoming or different areas when he was close, and it just didn't work out. Well, so when he got the contract for Watford, they got a hold of me and said, hey, find me a place to joust in Dickinson. He says, and I want to joust in front of my princess. He says, if you can get it that next weekend, we'll hang out a week in North Dakota. And so I did a little thinking, and I just, right away, horses and Medora, and they seemed to go hand in hand. And so I made couple contacts and got a hold of Clarence at the foundation, and he said, yeah, I'll do whatever I can to make this work. Actually, we got a hold of Muddy for a Cause also, because they had that thing for that whole weekend.
That was the same weekend,
yeah,
wasn't it?
and they said, you know what, we'll make sure we're out of there Sunday at whatever 1 o'clock or something, so that we don't run into each other. And everything worked out just beautiful that day. And well, and truly leading up to it, Charlie and his wife Christy, and they kept one jouster back, Marcelo. He's a Mexican national champion, 4th ranked in the world. Charlie is the current 14-time world champion jouster. So we had number 1 and number 4. But they worked the streets of Medora Thursday, Friday. They worked the musical on Saturday. They worked the streets Saturday, just to tell everybody, hey, this is what we're doing Sunday afternoon.
They're at the fondue, I understand.
Yeah, spent like an hour and a half up there because they had a little rain delay, and so they had an audience that they could talk to. And but they wanted the stands full for Jocelyn.
The event itself, how did it go? Did they accomplish that? The stands were full.
Stands were full.
Talk about the event itself.
There were so many parts that were like, this was the best part. But honestly, I think the one that hit me the hard, and I know it hit me the hardest. We brought Jocelyn in from the side, opposite from the stands, and we didn't have the microphone running at the time. We had some sound issues anyway, but we didn't have anybody out there with it. And the family was sneaking in, and the crowd seen her, and they just stood up and gave her a standing ovation right away, just as she entered into the arena. Got her all set up. Charlie's wife Christy is battling her own disease. She's got 4th-stage cancer. And she was given 3 to 6 months to live in June of 2022. So she's doing pretty good here in July of 2024. She's outlived everything that those doctors have, thought that she could do. And she was the MC for the whole event. She came out and it all began. And again, minus a couple quirks with the sound part, it was amazing. So the ones that were there, they could hear. They were loud enough that you could hear everything they were saying. But it was just a wonderful event, wonderful day. They hung out afterwards, signed autographs for the kids, just spent a great day there. And Jocelyn, she came down into the arena, and there's some great pictures on Facebook, but there's one where you get Christy standing behind her, and then she's sitting in a chair, and Charlie's right in front signing autographs, and it's just, it just looked like one big family. It was amazing.
So Charlie and his entourage, his wife, and the rest of the jousting folks, they spent time in Medora. They had this great event. It was a huge success.
Yes.
The foundation put their stamp of approval on it. And when I say that, I don't say that lightly, because you've got a little announcement that you're ready to make about jousting in the Badlands.
Well, it's kind of funny, because when they first got there, within 5 minutes, Charlie looked at Christy and said, "Doesn't this feel like home?" He says, not Utah, but we're a place where we could hang out. And she agreed. Well, Clarence had Charlie and Christy stay over an extra night, spoke with them on Monday, and the Knights of Mayhem and the Theodore Roosevelt Medora Foundation have come to some form of an agreement, and there will be jousting all summer next year in Medora.
At Rancherama.
Yes.
I'll be darned. So, okay, jousting for Jocelyn turns into a regular event at in Medora for the summer of 2025. 3-4 nights a week, something like that? 3 to 4
nights a week. Might even be a jousting for Jocelyn night in there one of the weeks, from what I understand. They're already maybe planning on having another night where all the gate proceeds will go to Make-A-Wish North Dakota once again. So,
wow, you heard it right here on Western Edge Living, folks, that jousting is coming to the Badlands of North Dakota, and we have little Jocelyn to thank for that.
Yeah,
Does she know this? That we talked about?
I don't even know if she knows yet.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know if anyone really knows, but you and I and a couple family members.
Well, now a couple viewers might know too. So that
Right.
is fantastic. Well, that's got to, kind of make you feel, hey, we're doing something right here. I mean, not that you ever would doubt that, but I mean,
Right.
wow, the foundation to put their stamp of approval enough to have them there for the summer. That is amazing. Wow. Congratulations, Kelly.
Well, thanks.
Congratulations on what you did for Jocelyn too. That the wish just kind of took a life of its own.
It did.
Yeah.
It grew the first time we did it. And then when he wanted to come back and do it again, I'm like, holy buckets.
Yeah.
We got done that night. We went and had supper, and we were about halfway through eating, and he looks at me and goes, so what's our next wish? I mean,
Wow.
So he enjoyed it too. I mean, he had a lot of fun.
Okay. We're going to talk to Amanda Godfread. She is the regional director of Make-A-Wish North Dakota here in our next segment. But before we go to a break here, Kelly, is there anything that you would like to share with our viewers, that maybe a question that I haven't asked, or got some information? Have you got a date yet for 2025 for March for your
March
next
15th of 2025, we'll do our Lions benefit at the Ice Center. I don't know what. I mean, it's usually pretty similar, but we always try to add something, And this 2024, it looks like our net donation to Make-A-Wish North Dakota will be around $160,000 again. So we've done well. Last year we cracked the $2 million since we started the event to today. It'll be over $2 million of donations that we've raised and helped out all those kids. And and more than anything, just to thank the community and the communities. They all get together. I mean, whether it's we're doing the benefit, whether we're doing Jousting for Jocelyn or Cooper Craig. And if you know Cooper Melmer now, he changed his name, but he's battling this stuff again. That leukemia came back, he's in a fight for his life right now. And so many of our kids, they battle and they get healthy, and that's what we see. And we kind of forget sometimes that those diseases are life-threatening because they beat them so often.
Well, with these wishes, you help them forget it, at least for a moment.
Well, and it's actually proven that they will get better faster, get better more often because of the positivity. And the positivity isn't just the wish, it's the community getting behind them all the time.
Gosh, Kelly, thank you for what you do. What you do is nothing short of amazing. And on behalf of the community of southwestern North Dakota, thanks for everything that you do. And we'll see you March 15th at I'm assuming back at the West River Community
It'll be
Center.
right there at the Ice Center.
Okay, thanks for your time today.
Thank you, Bill.
You bet. We're going to talk to Amanda here next on Western Edge Living. We are presented by CHI, St. Alexius Health Dickinson.
I got 2 home runs.
You got 2 jacks.
And then my grand slam, I signed the ball for you.
Okay.
And it says, Papa, I love you.
Why did you do that?
Because you taught me everything about baseball.
I'm so sweet.
Medora Boot and Western Wear in the heart of historic Medora, open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Boot is their middle name, and they have over 1,500 pairs of boots in stock for all ages and sizes. They also have the all-new Higher Boot, with more expected to arrive this summer. Western clothes, belts, caps, hats, and more, including a great line of toys and Longhorn wall decor. Medora Boot and Western Wear for the cowboy and cowgirl in you.
Medora Boot and Western Wear.
At Poncheros, we put a lot of work into building every burrito to last for about 10 minutes. Poncheros. Come build your better. At Poncheros, every tortilla starts as a small ball of dough. Then it's fresh pressed to perfection. That's just how we do it. Poncheros. Come build your better.
Service Pro Express Lube, now open on East Villar Dickinson, gets your vehicle serviced quickly and you're back on the road in no time. No appointment required. You don't even get out of your vehicle. They utilize Service Pro oil, the only oil produced and refined in the U.S., and it meets or exceeds vehicle manufacturer requirements. Plus, they top off all fluids and perform multi-point inspections. It's part of what's offered at Service Pro Express Lube. Students looking for a part-time gig? Inquire at Service Pro Express Lube. Ask about the Scholarship Incentive Program. Service Pro Express Lube, East Villar Dickinson, next to Lucky's. Being affected with hearing loss is a common problem, but it made me feel detached from those around me, particularly loved ones. Finally, I made the decision to contact Alliance Center for Hearing in Bismarck. They understand hearing loss and are very thorough in testing, diagnosis, and recommending a solution. Contact Alliance Center for Hearing to begin your journey to better hearing. Alliance Center for Hearing gave me my hearing back, which brought me closer to those who matter most in my life.
IT problems have you down and you need to get back up and running? Then call the IT techs at Consolidated. Here's what our customers are saying.
Josh called moments after I sent my ticket in and resolved the issue in about 30 seconds after logging onto my computer. Very friendly and professional. Thank you.
Eric responded to our request very quickly and resolved the issue for us right away.
Great service from Brandon as always.
Amazing and helpful as always.
Let us help you with your IT issues. Call Consolidated Business Solutions 483-4000 today.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you.
And we are back on Western Edge Living, presented by CHI St. Alexius Health Dickinson. Thank you for watching. Make sure you follow CHI St. Alexius Dickinson on Facebook and find out about the great programs that they have. And follow our program on Facebook too. And real soon we'll have our website up and running at westernedgeliving.tv. We're talking Make-A-Wish today, and now we have the Regional Director of Make-A-Wish North Dakota, Amanda Godfread, with us. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You made the trek from Bismarck to join us here
right
today.
In.
All right. Are you originally from Bismarck? I think you said you went to school in Grand Forks. So where did you grow up?
I grew up mostly in Minnesota, but was born in Grand Forks, and then I went to college there, lived there for about 10 years after college, and then my husband and I moved to Bismarck in 2011.
Okay.
Lived there ever since.
As the director of Make-A-Wish Regional Director, that's a full-time job.
Part-time.
Part-time
yep,
job.
Part-time job, but it is that's my job.
What led you there?
Well, so to be honest with you, when I went to college, I wanted to do medical school, and then I realized that wasn't maybe where my gifts were. My gifts were more in communications, and so I went down that road. And I was working for a different company, and my husband met the president and CEO of Make-A-Wish, Billy Joe Zielinski, and he said, I think you need to connect with this organization, and so I started volunteering. Mm-hmm. And then the board had decided they wanted a position outside of Fargo. Our headquarters are there, and we'd never had a position outside of that community. And we granted wishes outside that community, obviously all across the state, but they didn't have a staff member anywhere else. And so I raised my hand and applied, and was fortunate enough to get the role. And so I focus on Bismarck, Minot, and West, kind of the left half of the state, if you will, and I get to work with Wish Kids and volunteers, and I do medical outreach, I do fundraising, so sort of all of the different hats that we wear, I get to make sure the central and western part of the state are part of that.
Okay, what you do at Make-A-Wish is, my gosh, I don't know how you do it. I would be an emotional wreck. The variety of wishes. There's everything from trips to Disneyland, concerts, things like that, jousting, princess for a day, those kinds of things. How do you determine which child has a wish granted?
So there are 3 criteria that a child has to meet, and if they meet all 3 of those, they are in. So there's no yes to you but no to you, even though you both meet the same criteria. We're very fortunate in that way. So it is that they have to be age 2.5 to 18. On the young end, we want the child to be able to determine what their wish is, and we figure that age 2.5 is sort of when they could begin to express what is important to them or meaningful to them. And then 18, because of course we are a children's charity, and so they have to be within that window at the time of referral. They have to have a illness that qualifies them for a wish, and that is a laundry list, unfortunately, of various illnesses that impact children and put their lives in jeopardy. Not necessarily terminally ill, although unfortunately some kids are, but just illnesses that that are life-threatening. And then they can't already have received a wish from Make-A-Wish, so we only do one per child. So those 3 criteria, if they are met, they come into our family and we connect them with wish granters that live in their local community so that they have that direct connection, and set forth the process of figuring out what their wish might be and how we can make it happen.
The cost of a wish, obviously some I'm sure cost more than others. What is the criteria there?
Definitely. So our average cash cost of a wish is $7,500.
Okay.
But we also leverage in-kind on top of that. And we have to talk about them in averages because you're right. It's so different what every wish costs. You know, if you think about a little boy that wants a puppy, that's a very different expense for us than you know, a teenage girl's wish to go to Paris, right? Those are 2 very, very different wishes with different dollar amounts associated with them. And so what we try to do is we always try to stay around that average if we can, but if we need board approval to go over and above sort of our threshold, then we've never had, to my knowledge, our board turn us down, which is so lovely. But I think that's a real huge tribute to our donors, groups like the Dickinson Noon Lions that have participated so fully in donating to Make-A-Wish, so that we can say yes to those things, because these kids have been told no for so much of their lives. You know, a lot of them can't go to school. They can't go play with friends. They can't join the Little League team or can't be in a dance class. They can't travel with their family, whatever it might be, or the only trips they do get to take are to a hospital. And so we want to be able to come in and say yes. So we're very fortunate that we have such amazing donors that allow us to fulfill them financially. We never want to be frivolous with those dollars, though, so we do try to find every way to make sure that the wish is granted with quality, but also making sure we're being responsible with those dollars.
How many wishes have been granted in the state of North Dakota?
So we started in 1985 as a chapter, and since that time we've granted just over 1,100 wishes, which is pretty awesome. And then we estimate that there are about 50 kids every year that are diagnosed with an illness that would qualify them. The timing of when they get granted really depends on what are they wishing for, how is their health, different factors like that. So this current fiscal year that we're in, we're targeting 65 wish kids.
In North Dakota?
In North Dakota.
65 wish kids?
Yes.
Wow, amazing. Yes. You mentioned the New Lions, and we talked to Kelly here a few minutes ago. That fundraiser that they have every March, that thing has grown. That's a monster. It's a signature event. It's a benchmark event for folks in southwestern North Dakota. The person who started Make-A-Wish, Linda Pauling, has been at that event. While she was Miss America, Cara Mund was at that event. How important is that event to Make-A-Wish North Dakota as a whole?
Well, I love that you called it a benchmark event in Southwest North Dakota, because it's a benchmark event for our state. It's a benchmark event for our entire enterprise. So Make-A-Wish is not just North Dakota, it's national and it's international. And the Dickinson Noon Lions event is one that gets talked about, gets highlighted, gets loved on. And I don't think we could do what we do without that event. I mean, it's been 20 plus years now. They passed the $2 million donation mark here with this year, which is just mind-blowing to me. You know, we've got events in other pockets around the state that are all also wonderful and also great, but whatever it is that the Noon Lions have done to spark connection and community with Wish Kids in this area in particular is just, it's second to none. And we can't say enough about how great they are. They're deep-hearted. They are so warm and welcoming to the Wish Kids and families, so they want to come back every year and be a part of it, and those kids feel like they are superheroes when they walk through the door. And I think the community can sense that, and they want to be a part of that, and they want to continue to uplift those kids whose maybe wishes have already been granted, and then the ones that are forthcoming. And so it's just been such an awesome thing to witness, and to see it benefit all these kids is just, it's very emotional.
Gosh, I think of the auction items that have been part of the fundraising efforts at that event. I think there was a Bison helmet autographed by Carson Wentz and things of that nature. What do you need? What does Make-A-Wish North Dakota need? Where do you want to see this to go?
Well, honestly, the reality is our population in our state is growing.
Right.
And so we know that with that will come children who have illnesses like this. We'll see more of them. And so what we really want is for the community to pay attention to those kids. If they know of a child that's going through that, maybe it's a coworker's child or a neighborhood kid or whatever it might be, make sure that they get connected with Make-A-Wish, right? The rest will all fall into place. The money will come, the volunteers will come, the wish will come together. But we can't do that if they're not connected with Make-A-Wish in the first place. And we, as a staff, as actual employees of Make-A-Wish, we're not in every single community every day, and so we don't always know who those kids are. So if we can at least just get them through the door, the rest will come.
I think for a viewer, if you don't know a lot about Make-A-Wish, you've maybe heard it casually, but if you want to get involved, I think a good way to start is Linda Pauling's book. We mentioned Linda coming to the event in Dickinson, Little Bubblegum Trooper. Have you read the book?
I have not, but I have met Linda, and she just, she exudes all things that this organization stands for, the reasons that it was built. And I'll also say, if you're like me and you haven't read the book, Linda has a lot of videos that are online where she talks about her experience with her son, with Chris, with his wish, kind of how everything transpired after that. And you can't walk away from that. And Kelly in particular talks about it all the time, and he's so right that it's one thing to know about Make-A-Wish at a distance, and I think a lot of people can say it's a great organization, it does a lot of good, and they know that, right? Mm-hmm. But then when you meet the child and you see what the wish is for them in their lives, you can't unsee that, and your heart can't unfeel that, and so you just all of a sudden feel very pulled and called to continue helping more kids.
Yeah, and if you have read the book, I'm not crying, you're crying. It's an amazing story. Her son had a debilitating disease and wanted to be a highway patrolman for a day in Arizona, I believe. And
yes.
Yeah, the way the community came out, that's the roots of Make-A-Wish. Little Bubblegum Trooper, look for it where great books are sold. Before we wrap up today, Amanda, is there anything that I haven't brought up, any question I haven't asked, any information that you might want to share with the viewer? Where's the next fundraiser at?
Yeah, we actually have a fundraiser going on right now. It's called our Wish Hero fundraiser, and it's a little different in that people around the state just raise their hand and say, I want to raise money from my network of family, friends, coworkers, whomever it might be, and they commit to raise a certain amount of money, and we provide them an individualized web page that they can email out, text out, whatever it might be, and then, so you don't have to handle cash if you don't want to. But people just from all over the state will raise their hands and will take time out of their own days to go make some phone calls or send some emails or whatever it might be. And I'm really moved by that, because I think it's one thing to go to an event, it's another thing to personally try to knock on doors yourself. Kelly certainly knows all about that. And so that's happening right now, but then we'll take a little bit of a pause and we'll start back up with our fundraiser in January, which will be in Bismarck, North Dakota. That's the World of Wishes Gala. And then we go right into Giving Hearts Day, which of course is sort of that statewide giving day, which we've been so blessed to be connected to many people throughout the state through that event. It
seems to me, though, that like a lot of these events, such as Princess for a Day for Jocelyn, they take on a life of their own and they create their own energy, and we're just along for the ride. It's so fun to watch. I think that probably happens often, doesn't it?
It doesn't. Actually, the same weekend as the Jousting for Jocelyn, over on the other side of the state in Wahpeton, they had a cow pie bingo. That was the first time they'd ever done that, and a wish child was a judge. And if you're wondering what the judge has to do, they have to decide which square the cow's pie landed on. if it's maybe on part of two. So anyway, just a hoot, the different ideas that people come up with. And like you say, they take on a life of their own. The Wish kids and families get involved. The whole community finds it so fun and engaging. And like I said, once you meet these kids and see what these wishes mean to them, you kind of can't turn it down.
Lighthearted events for a serious cause, and it just gets you right here. Amanda, thank you for what you do.
So much.
You're amazing. What you and Kelly and your staff
have. The kids are amazing, and we're just happy to be a part of them.
Yes. Thank you. Our guest today, Amanda Godfread, the Regional Director of Make-A-Wish North Dakota. Thanks for driving down and being with us today. Here on Western Edge Living, we are presented by CHI St. Alexius Health Dickinson. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching Western Edge Living, presented by CHI St. Alexius Health Dickinson.